Okay, time to recap the day's action from Wednesday, November 9th, 2022 on the NASDAQ. As of last night, I had drawn out these two daily levels, which was Tuesday's high, Tuesday's low. I wasn't really sure what price was going to do. I thought, gun to my head, that we might see price go up, but clearly we sold off during the whole day. And there was one trade that I took that pretty happy about how it went down. Wasn't quite perfect, but it was a profitable trade, and I look forward to recapping that. Just quickly starting with how the day unfolded. We had Asia range in between this sharp down leg on election day. And right at the outset of London, we took this short term high and broke down. And then London retraced, filled in this imbalance, and then sold off. And then New York session opened and went down and just been grinding down the rest of the afternoon. And what's interesting to me is this previous month's open level, which I drew on my chart at the very beginning of the week. I've taken on Tuesday, I based a trade off of it that was profitable from around here to there. And then, actually, there's two, actually, all three trades so far this week were framed in part around this previous month's open. I had this Asia sell here on Tuesday, and then I had later in the day during New York, I had a buy framed off of price hitting this level, this month's open. And again today, as about to show, the trade also was in part, not entirely, but in part, framed off of the previous month's open. So just from the outset, clearly we are having a bearish day at the time of New York Stock Exchange open, likely to draw towards this low here. And the trade was, I'll just show the trade and then I'll talk about it after the fact. So the trade was this. The trade was this. Just basically, like, I don't have the exact in and outs, but so let's just draw that for now. Actually, it's a little bit higher stop loss. So number one, we've been in a downtrend all day. Now we had a tap of Tuesday's low, just barely nicked it. So a very shallow run below the low. So one of two things can happen in this situation. Either we take out a low and we get a nice buy trade somewhere to take up for higher prices if we're bullish or in a more bullish environment, or we take out the low and then retrace back for a continuation, which is what happened here. And then as far as like for a continuation, it's about determining what area makes most sense to take a continuation trade off of. So clearly we have this high time frame level, this monthly previous month's open. We also have the New York Stock Exchange open, right, in the same vicinity. And then we have this really nice formation here where price came up, took out this high, and I think there was some divergence, I want to say, on S&P, where at around this point, I believe it took out a short-term high. Let's just look and see. I think that's what happened here. Yeah. Okay, so on S&P, this was that same time. It had taken out this high, and then NASDAQ, it hadn't. So this made sense for me as an area. Also, we have this nice imbalance coming off the level, and just a really nice consolidation, expansion, retracement, continuation. That was the premise. And I was, at first, when I nicked this level, I was thinking maybe I'd get a buy. But on the lower time frame, and this is where I found that I have to be very in tune with what I'm seeing on the lower time frame, because if I had seen a really clean, energetic move, displacement above the high with some imbalances that fit my criteria, I would have been looking to buy. But this is just extremely choppy. There's nothing clean about it. There's nothing energetic about it until we get to here. So this gave me a little pause. Eventually it came in a little bit more. Let's just switch to slightly higher time frames. On a 2 minute. Eventually we got a little bit more energy here. And so in the moment I had to determine, okay, was this a genuine impulse to go higher, or is it just a move to come up into this level for shorts? And admittedly, I first canceled my order that I had here because this was coming up pretty quick. And then I was like, you know what? It all checks out to be a continuation. And I went in for a half risk short here. So unfortunately, it was not the full risk that I would normally put on the trade, but at least I put in half. And so I'm happy with that decision, at least, to get something out of it. But if we notice on this time frame, at least, yeah, we're seeing some aggressiveness, but we really are not displacing through the high. We kind of do here. I guess this high is not that significant, but through this high, we really don't. It's just coming up fast down here, and then it kind of trickles up. And then I think if I go to the 5 minute, you know, it was 50-50. This looked pretty strong at the time. And you know, you think maybe it could very easily just spike up more and you're out of the trade. But you know what? I thought it was worth the risk. I've been having a good week, and again, this level gave me a lot of confidence. This monthly open, previous month's open, with this consolidation here, with the imbalance, and just the overall framework of a bearish day. And also, a lot of times when price, it's not like this ran deep below the low and came back. This just barely nicked it. So you can think, okay, this looks like maybe a double bottom. Maybe here people are starting to buy, and more stop losses are building up underneath the low. So when I think about it like that, I wish I put the full position on. But in any case, we got the sell off and continue lower. I added to the trade. So price created this gap as it was coming lower near the level, and I got in, I think right around, I saw price come up into that imbalance. I liked this price action here where it took these short-term highs, and then once this candle formed, or one of these candles here, I decided to get in, and just for one more contract, and just to write it down. So moving on into Thursday, what I love is we have created an imbalance through Tuesday's low. The way everything's currently looking, we would come up, react in this area, and sell off, targeting this key low. Let's just say this low. Tomorrow is CPI, so it's kind of a risky day to trade around that time, and we can definitely get some explosive moves. But I do really like the fact that we've now created a swing high formation where we close below the middle candle off of this imbalance, and we're just in a clear heavy downtrend. So it makes most sense to get a retest here and then lower prices, but I could totally be wrong. You know, if the bullish case, honestly, I still think the bullish case is it comes down and then ricochets up higher. You know, I guess if this expands above this, if we get an aggressive reclaim of Tuesday's low, you know, something like that, you know, then I'd be interested in buying. But until we see something like that, I'm much more inclined to play the short side for the time being. So that's it. That's where things stand at the present moment. All in all, good week so far, and we'll just keep trying to finish up strong, and we'll know a lot more about where the market wants to go, I think, after the CPI news release tomorrow morning. So that's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow.